Before we get started, don't get me wrong. Everything Chad Gable has done under Triple H has been 100 times better than when Vince McMahon was booking. You don't need me to tell you Shorty G was shit and Vince McMahon was an idiot. You already know that. But here's the thing. Two things can be true. Triple H can be 100 times better than Vince McMahon. And Triple H cannot be perfect. You know, it's okay to admit. Put the pitchforks down. Today, we are going to talk about when Triple H did a little rug pull. When Triple H made us all believe in someone. When he made us want something, only to take it away from us. Today, we are going to talk about Chad Gable.
Oh, and by the way, Beaner Bronco Buster?
Yeah.
Where the hell did that come from?
Improv.
It was wonderful.
So we all know about Chad Gable's history in the WWE. It started out really high, teaming with Jason Jordan in American Alpha, but when they got split, I wouldn't even say his career was full of ups and downs because it was mostly just downs. In 2023, WWE had finally started to use Chad Gable and, really let him wrestle, but it wasn't until August 21st when things really changed. After beating Gunther by countout, we finally saw a change in Chad Gable, and it appeared that WWE was finally going to take him seriously. Fans had started to clamor for Gable to be, the man who finally dethrones Gunther, and it really seemed like that's what Triple H was building towards. But it wasn't. Triple H used Chad Gable to elevate Sami Zayn, and a lot of people were really unhappy about this. Me being a gigantic Sami Zayn fan, I loved it, but I could see where people were coming from. It was like WWE built up Chad Gable all the way up, just to switch him out with Sami at the very last second. Still, the idea of Chad Gable, becoming overcome with jealousy for Sami Zayn stealing his moment, turning heel, and finally creating a new faction with the Creeds, it was just too damn good. Oh my god, Triple H, you're a genius. Well, not really. Sure, all of that, sounds good on paper, and WWE, they technically did all of those things. But the execution was it just wasn't good. Triple H made so many mistakes with Chad Gable's heel turn. First of all, he didn't even align with the Creeds for what felt like months. Do you remember how many backstage segments we saw of Chad Gable just talking to the Creeds in the background? He also kept messing around with Alpha Academy for way too long. I wanted to see a bloodthirsty, rabid Chad Gable. Not him being a little mean to Maxine Dupree. Second, and without a doubt most important of all, he lost. Not just once, not just twice, 3 times. Holy shit, what was the point of any of this? You have Gunther beat Chad Gable. Okay, I understand. You have Sami Zayn take Gable's spot at WrestleMania. Okay, I understand. You have Chad Gable turn heel. Okay, I understand, and I love it. You have Sami Zayn beat Chad Gable 3 times in a row. Okay, now you've lost me. I feel like something went wrong because the idea of Gable watching someone else do what he couldn't do, driving him to cross a line so that he could finally do it himself, that makes sense. That's good. That seems like something Triple H would come up with. And maybe he did. Maybe that was the original plan, but WWE, they saw the reactions Otis was getting and they decided to keep teasing us. Oh, will Otis turn on Gable now? How about now? Brother, give me a break. WWE's obsession with wasting golden opportunities on an Otis pop has got to stop. So where did this all lead? Chad Gable officially has a new faction with the Creeds and Ivy Nile, but he still feels incomplete. It almost feels like Chad Gable never even fully turned heel, because I don't know about you guys, but a lot of the time during this Wyatt Six stuff, I find myself rooting for American Made. This stuff with the Wyatt Six, it's just been weird. I've liked a lot of it, don't get me wrong. Hearing from Bo Dallas and Eric Rowan and them explaining themselves, that's really cool. It's just everything that they've done with Chad Gable, it's honestly, it sucked. Now look, I know the number one thing any one of you could say to combat my complaints is it's just not Gable's time, or you have to be patient. Not everyone can be at the top of the card at once. That's not my point. The point is that Triple H seemingly had a very clear plan for Chad Gable and then abandoned it. Now Gable is stuck. You know, granted, the writers at WWE, they're way smarter than me, but when I try to think of like a 3 or 6 month plan for Chad Gable, I have nothing. If I had the pen, I'd trade American Made to SmackDown and have them attack Cody Rhodes. I'd have Brutus and Julius hold Cody down while Gable puts Pharaoh in an ankle lock. Just kidding. But I would love to see a Cody vs. Gable feud. And honestly, I think a move to SmackDown would be amazing for Chad Gable. But imagine him against guys like Andrade and Carmelo. That's where Chad Gable belongs. Anyways, this was a pretty negative video. And I really only like talking about things that I actually enjoy. But I just really think Chad Gable should be doing a lot more right now. You know, I'm always a glass half full kind of guy. And Chad Gable's so insanely talented, so I really should have nothing to worry about. And besides, anything he does, it's guaranteed to be better than this.
I'm Shorty G.
What the fuck?
Stupid fucking book.